The ships appeared on a clear morning in May 2087, 7 massive silver discs that hung in the sky over major cities across Earth. People stopped and stared up with fear and wonder. No one knew what to do. In New Seoul, 16-year-old Hannah Kim stood on the roof of her apartment building with her grandfather Ta-won and her 14-year-old sister Ji-soo. They watched the largest ship hover silently above the city center. "Are they going to hurt us?" Ji-soo asked, grabbing Hannah's hand. Grandfather Ta-won's eyes narrowed. "We will see." The Navy came in peace. That's what they said when they finally spoke to humans. Their voices were soft and kind as they explained they had traveled across many stars to find Earth. They looked almost human, tall and slender with pale blue skin and large, dark eyes that seemed full of wisdom. "We bring gifts," the Navy leader said on every TV and screen around the world. "We want to help humanity reach its full potential." Within weeks, the Navy were everywhere. They set up centers in every city where they offered medical treatments that cured diseases humans had fought for centuries. Cancer, diabetes, heart disease, all gone with a simple Navy treatment. Hannah didn't trust them. "It seems too good to be true," she told her best friend Da-hyun as they walked home from school. "Why would they help us for nothing?" Da-hyun laughed. "Not everyone is selfish, Hannah. Maybe they're just nice." His eyes lit up. "I signed up for the Youth Enhancement Program. My parents think it will help me get into a better university." "You did what?" Hannah stopped walking. "You can't let them put their alien tech in you. It's just vitamins and some kind of special light therapy. Everyone's doing it." Da-hyun shrugged. "The Navy fixed the climate crisis in 2 months. They gave us clean energy. What more proof do you need that they're good?" At home, Grandfather Ta-won was less impressed. "Nothing comes without a price," he told his granddaughters as they ate dinner. "I've seen this before." "You've seen aliens before?" Ji-soo asked with wide eyes. "No," Ta-won smiled slightly. "But I've seen powerful strangers come to help people who had something they wanted." His smile faded. "Your parents would be cautious too." Hannah and Ji-soo fell silent at the mention of their parents. The car accident 3 years ago had left them with only their grandfather. Sometimes, Hannah still woke up thinking she heard her mother's voice. 2 weeks later, Da-hyun returned to school after his enhancement. Hannah noticed the differences right away. His skin looked perfect. His eyes were brighter. He spoke more clearly and scored perfectly on all tests. But he didn't joke anymore. He didn't question teachers. When Hannah asked what the treatment felt like, he just smiled and said, "It was very efficient." Efficient? That's not a Da-hyun word, Hannah told Ji-soo later. He used to say things were awesome or totally sick. Now he talks like them. 6 months after the Navy arrived, half of New Seoul's population had received some form of enhancement. The city was cleaner. Crime disappeared. Everyone seemed happy. Everyone except Grandfather Ta-won. Hannah found him late one night in his small office, looking at old photos and papers. "What are those?" she asked. Ta-won quickly covered the papers. "Nothing important." He paused. "Hannah, promise me something. Don't let them enhance you or Ji-soo. No matter what." "I promise," Hannah said. "But why?" Her grandfather looked tired. "Because I think the Navy take more than they give. And once they take it, we might never get it back." That night, Hannah dreamed of her mother. In the dream, her mother was trying to tell her something important, but her voice kept being drowned out by a soft, kind Navy voice saying, "We're here to help. We're here to help." Hannah woke up sweating, with one thought clear in her mind. Help was the last thing they needed from the Navy. 5 years passed. New Seoul became a perfect city. Clean streets. No crime. No poverty. The Navy had kept their promises. Most people now had enhancements. They lived longer. They never got sick. They worked hard and never complained. Ji-soo, now 19, sat in the university library watching her classmates. They all looked the same to her now. Perfect skin, straight backs, calm faces. They read their books with focus but showed no joy when they learned something new. "Do you ever miss how things used to be?" she asked her study partner Da-hyun. He had been her sister's friend before, but now he helped Ji-soo with her studies because the Navy education program had assigned him to her. Da-hyun looked at her with his two bright eyes. "The past was inefficient. We have improved." He went back to his reading. Ji-soo sighed. She missed the old Da-hyun who used to make silly jokes. She missed a lot of things from before. She missed seeing people laugh really hard. She missed hearing music in the streets. The Navy said music was still allowed, but somehow no one made it anymore. At home, Ji-soo found her sister Hannah sitting with grandfather Taiwan. At 21, Hannah now worked as an assistant at a Navy research center. She had taken the job to learn more about the aliens, but she had to pretend she wanted to be enhanced soon. "Something happened today," Hannah said in a low voice when Ji-soo entered. "The Navy left me alone in the records room. I was able to look at some files they don't show humans." Grandfather Taiwan leaned forward. His hair was completely white now, but his eyes were still sharp. "What did you find?" "Birth records." Hannah pulled out a small data chip she had hidden in her shoe. "There are almost no new babies being born, not just in Korea, everywhere. The human birth rate has dropped by 95% since the Navy came." Ji-soo's eyes widened. "But why?" "The Navy said they were helping us live better lives." "Maybe this is their idea of better," grandfather said. He went to the kitchen and checked that the water was running before continuing. The Navy couldn't hear over running water. That was something they had learned. No more humans eventually means no more human problems. He went to his bedroom and came back with an old metal box. Inside were papers, photos, and an old military ID card with his picture. "You were a soldier?" Ji-soo asked, surprised. "Not just a soldier. Intelligence." Taiwan spread out some papers. "When the Navy first came, I noticed things that reminded me of old human tactics. How to take over a country without firing a shot. First, you offer help. Then you change how people think." Hannah picked up one of the photos. It showed their parents standing with a group of serious-looking people. Mom and Dad knew about this. Taiwan nodded. "Your parents were scientists. They were among the first to question why the Navy wanted to help us so much. They started gathering data." His voice trailed off. "The car accident," Ji-soo said slowly. "Was it really an accident?" Their grandfather did not answer directly. "The Navy don't like questions. They prefer compliance." Hannah's hands shook as she looked at her parents' faces in the photo. "So what do we do now?" "We need to know exactly what the enhancements really do," Taiwan said. "Something is changing people from the inside. It's not just making them healthier." "I might be able to get access to that information," Hannah said. "My supervisor trusts me. He thinks I'm going to sign up for enhancement next month." Ji-soo looked at her sister and grandfather, the only unenhanced people she knew besides herself. "We need to find others like us. There must be more people who see what's happening." Grandfather nodded. "There are. Not many, but they exist. The problem is finding them without the Navy knowing." As they talked, the lights in their apartment flickered briefly. All three froze. "Just a power glitch," Hannah said. But her voice was tense. Later that night, Ji-soo couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about her enhanced classmates with their empty smiles. She thought about the missing babies, the parents who no longer wanted children. She wondered how much time they had before the Navy decided that everyone needed to be enhanced, whether they wanted it or not. Hannah's hands trembled as she entered the restricted section of the Navy research facility. Her work badge would give her only 5 minutes of access before the system would flag her presence. 5 minutes to find the truth. The Navy kept their most important data in a special room that few humans ever entered. Today, All the Na'vi supervisors were at a meeting about the final enhancement program. This was her only chance. Hana plugged a small device into the main computer. Grandfather Tawan had given it to her. It would copy any files it could access. The screen flashed with images and text as it worked. Her eyes widened as she saw brain scans labeled Human Subject Transformation. The images showed human brains before and after enhancement. The afterbrains had thin, web-like structures throughout them that weren't there before. The device beeped softly. Time to go. That evening, Hana, Jisoo, and Grandfather Taewon looked at the stolen files. "This is worse than we thought," Taewon said, his voice low. "The enhancements aren't just changing how people think. They're replacing human brain cells with Na'vi technology." "Why?" Jisoo asked. "Why would they want to control human brains?" Before anyone could answer, there was a soft knock at their apartment door. They froze. "It's me," a voice whispered. "Jisoo, please." "It's Sunho." Jisoo recognized the voice of the quiet boy from her programming class. She opened the door cautiously. Sunho slipped inside. He was thin with nervous eyes that never stopped moving. "I saw you looking at birth records in the university database," he said to Jisoo. "You're like me. You know something's wrong." "How did you find where I live?" Jisoo asked. "I'm good with computers." Sunho pulled out a small device. "I've been tracking Na'vi communications. I think I know what they're really doing here." He placed the device on the table. It projected an image of Earth and dozens of other planets. "The Na'vi have done this before," Sunho explained. "They find a planet with intelligent life. They offer help. Then they take over the minds of the population." "But why?" Hana asked. "Energy." Sunho pointed to a chart. "The Na'vi feed on electrical energy, specifically the kind produced by thinking brains. They're not giving us enhancements. They're turning us into living batteries." Taewon nodded slowly. "That explains why they want to control reproduction. Fewer new humans means their food source won't grow beyond what they need. They're parasites," Hana whispered, "using our own bodies against us." Sunho showed them more data. Their home planet was destroyed long ago. They'd been moving from world to world for thousands of years. Each time, they'd followed the same pattern. "What happens to the planets they visit?" Jisoo asked. Sunho's face darkened. "Eventually, they use up all the available energy. The controlled population dies out. The Na'vi move on." "We have to tell people," Jisoo said. "We can't," Hana replied. "Most humans are already partly controlled. They won't believe us, and the Na'vi would know immediately if we tried to spread this information." Sunho nodded. "The enhanced humans are connected to a Na'vi network. What one sees, they all can see." Jisoo suddenly felt dizzy. The room seemed to spin around her. She grabbed the table to steady herself. "Jisoo." Hana moved to her sister's side. "Are you okay?" As Hana touched her arm, the projector from Sunho's device flickered and went dark. The lights in the apartment dimmed for a moment. Sunho stared at Jisoo with surprise. "Did you do that?" "Do what?" Jisoo asked, confused. "The power fluctuation." Sunho looked at his device. "It happened exactly when you felt dizzy." Taewon looked at his granddaughter with new interest. "Jisoo, has this happened before? Things not working right when you're upset or not feeling well?" Jisoo thought about it. "Sometimes. Computers at school crash when I'm stressed about tests. My phone dies when I'm angry, even with a full battery." She had always thought it was just bad luck. Sunho's eyes lit up. "The Na'vi technology operates on quantum principles. Some humans might naturally disrupt it." He looked at Jisoo with wonder. "You might be able to fight them in a way they never expected." "Try again," Sunho said to Jisoo. "Focus on the feeling." Jisoo closed her eyes. For 2 weeks, they had been testing her ability to affect Na'vi technology. Sometimes it worked. Sometimes it didn't. "I can't just make it happen," Jisoo said with frustration. It's not like turning on a light. They sat in an abandoned subway tunnel beneath New Seoul. Grandfather Taiwan had shown them this place. It was one of many hidden spots from his military days. Hana watched her sister try again to disable the small Navi device they had taken from the research center. Nothing happened. Maybe you're trying too hard, Hana suggested. She moved closer and put her hand on Jisoo's shoulder. Just breathe. As soon as Hana touched her, the device flickered and went dark. Sung Ho jumped up excitedly. That's it. It's stronger when you two are in physical contact. Why would that happen? Taiwan asked, his eyes thoughtful. Siblings sometimes share quantum entanglement patterns, Sung Ho explained. The Navi would never expect this. Their whole system is based on individual control. A noise at the tunnel entrance made them all turn. A woman stepped out of the shadows with her hands raised to show she wasn't a threat. My name is Mija, she said quietly. Taiwan, your old friend Du Yun sent me. Taiwan's face showed surprise. Du Yun is alive. I thought he was taken for enhancement years ago. Mija nodded. He avoided it. There are more of us than you think. She looked at the four of them. We've been watching you. You're not the only ones fighting the Navi. Mija told them about a network of resistance groups around the world. Some were in big cities, others hid in mountains or forests. All were people who had avoided enhancement. Most of our members are young, Mija explained. People under 25 seem able to resist the Navi influence better than older adults. That makes sense, Hana said. Young brains are still developing. They might be harder to control completely. Mija showed them a map on a paper, not digital, where the Navi might see it. Each red dot is a resistance cell. We stay separate for safety, but we share information when we can. How many people total? Taiwan asked. Maybe 5,000 worldwide, Mija said. Not many compared to the billions already enhanced, but we're growing. Jisoo pointed to a spot on the map. What's this big circle around New Seoul? Mija's face grew serious. That's the location of the main Navi control hub for Asia. There's one on each continent. They're the centers of their network. If we could disable those hubs, Sung Ho began. We've tried, Mija said. 3 months ago, a team attacked the hub in North America. None came back. The hubs are heavily protected. Hana had been quiet, thinking. Now she spoke up. I found something in the research center files. The Navi are planning something they call final integration. It's scheduled for next month. What is it? Taiwan asked. I'm not sure, Hana admitted. But from what I could tell, they plan to enhance everyone remaining at once. No more waiting or asking for permission. The group fell silent at this news. Finally, Sung Ho spoke. We need to act before that happens. If they enhance everyone, there will be no one left to fight. But what can we do? Jisoo asked. There are so few of us. Mija looked at Jisoo with interest. Taiwan told me about your ability. That could be important. She turned to Hana. And you have access to Navy research data. Together, that's valuable. We need more than information, Taiwan said. We need weapons. The old man stood up with new energy. I think it's time I showed you the rest of what I've been saving for a day like this. He led them deeper into the tunnel system, to a heavy metal door with a complex lock. Inside was a room filled with old military equipment, body armor, communication devices, and most importantly, EMP generators, weapons designed to disable electronic systems. These might work against Navi technology, Taiwan said. I've been collecting them for years. For the first time, Hana felt a spark of real hope. They weren't just running and hiding anymore. They were fighting back. 3 days had passed since they met Mija. The resistance was growing. 20 more people had joined their group in the tunnels beneath New Seoul. Some were students. Some were workers who had avoided enhancement. All were afraid of the coming final integration. Sung Ho worked day and night on Navi technology. He had taken apart several devices and studied how they worked. Their whole system runs on a special code, he explained to the group. It's like a language that tells enhanced humans what to do. Hana looked at the strange symbols on Sung Ho's screen. Can you understand it? Some parts. Sung Ho pointed to certain patterns. These look like commands, and these are more like connectors between different enhanced humans. Could you change the commands? Jisoo asked. Make the enhanced humans stop listening to the Na'vi. Sung Ho smiled for the first time in days. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm making a virus that could break their control. At the other end of the tunnel, Grandfather Taiwan was teaching people how to use the EMP weapons. The devices were old but still worked. When activated, they would send out a pulse that would shut down any electronic system nearby. The pulse only lasts for a few minutes, Taiwan explained. But that might be enough time to enter the hub and plant Sung Ho's virus. Meija returned from meeting with other resistance groups. She had news. We've made contact with cells in 12 major cities, she told them. They all have some weapons and people willing to fight. If we're going to stop the final integration, we need to hit all the Na'vi hubs at the same time. When? Hana asked. 3 days from now, Meija said. That's when the Na'vi will be preparing their systems for the final integration. Their defenses might be weaker. Jisoo had been practicing her ability every day. She could now disable small Na'vi devices just by focusing her mind. When Hana held her hand, they could affect larger systems together. I need to try something bigger, Jisoo said. If we're going to attack the hub, I need to know how much I can do. They decided to test Jisoo's power on a Na'vi communication tower near the edge of the city. It was smaller than the hub but used similar technology. That night, Hana, Jisoo, Sung Ho, and 2 other resistance members approached the tower. Guards patrolled the area, but they were all enhanced humans who moved in predictable patterns. Ready? Hana asked, taking her sister's hand. Jisoo nodded. She closed her eyes and focused on the feeling that came before her power worked. A kind of pressure behind her eyes, a tingling in her fingers. At first, nothing happened. The tower lights continued to glow blue in the night. I can't do it, Jisoo whispered. It's too big. Try to find its center, Sung Ho suggested. Every Na'vi system has a core that controls everything else. Jisoo focused again, this time picturing the tower as having a heart, a central point where all its energy flowed. She reached for that spot with her mind. Suddenly, the blue lights flickered. Then they went out completely. The tower stood dark and silent. You did it. Hana hugged her sister. Their celebration was cut short by the sound of alarms. Red lights began flashing around the tower base. They have backup systems, Sung Ho said. We need to go. Now. They ran back toward the tunnel entrance, barely escaping as enhanced human guards flooded the area. Safe underground again, they told the others what had happened. This proves Jisoo can affect their larger systems, Meija said, but the hub will be much bigger than that tower. And better protected. I'll keep practicing, Jisoo promised. I'll be stronger by the time we attack. Hana looked at the maps of the Na'vi hub they had stolen from the research center. It was a massive structure with layers of security. We need to get to the very center, she said, pointing to a spot deep within the hub. That's where their main systems are. Taiwan studied the map. It won't be easy, but nothing important ever is. As the resistance made final preparations, Jisoo found herself thinking of her parents. They had died trying to expose the truth about the Na'vi. Now their daughters would finish what they started. 3 days. That was all the time they had left to save what remained of humanity. 2 days before the planned attack, Hana returned to work at the Na'vi Research Center. She needed to download the latest security codes for the hub. Without them, they would never get past the outer doors. As she walked through the quiet halls, she noticed something strange. Many of the Na'vi were gathered in the main meeting room. They never had unplanned meetings. Hana Kim. A voice called from behind her. She turned to see her supervisor, a tall Navi with almost white skin. His large black eyes showed no emotion. "Your work today is in Section 12, he said. "You will assist with preparing the final integration systems." Hannah's heart beat faster, but she kept her face calm. "Yes, sir. I'll go there now." Section 12 was where they kept the most advanced Navi technology. Hannah had never been allowed in before. This could be useful for the resistance, but it was also dangerous. The Navy might be testing her. As she worked, carefully copying data to a hidden device in her pocket, Hannah felt someone watching her. She glanced up to see Da-hyun, her old friend who had been enhanced years ago. He was standing in the doorway, staring at her. "Hannah," he said in a flat voice, "you should not be copying those files." Her blood turned cold. She had been caught. But instead of calling for guards, Da-hyun stepped closer and whispered, "Run. They know about the resistance." Hannah stared at him in shock. "Da-hyun, are you still in there?" A flicker of the old Da-hyun appeared in his eyes. "Not for long. The Na'vi know something is wrong with my programming. They're fixing it tonight." His voice was strained, like he was fighting to speak. "Your grandfather's tunnel. They're going there now." "How do they know about that?" Hannah asked, already backing toward the exit. "Me," Da-hyun admitted, pain in his voice. "I told them last week, before I started fighting the control." "I'm sorry, Hannah. I couldn't stop myself." An alarm suddenly blared through the building. Da-hyun's face went blank again. "You must submit for enhancement," he said in a mechanical voice, reaching for her. Hannah ran. She rushed through the streets of New Seoul, desperately trying to reach the tunnel before the Na'vi. She had to warn the others. When she arrived at the hidden entrance, she found it open. Inside, she heard shouting and the sound of weapons. The tunnel was filled with enhanced humans in Na'vi security uniforms. They were taking resistance members away one by one. Hannah hid behind a column and searched for her sister and grandfather. She spotted Jisoo crouched behind some crates with Sung-ho. They hadn't been caught yet, but where was Grandfather Taewon? A loud bang echoed through the tunnel. Hannah saw her grandfather standing in the open, firing an old gun at the enhanced humans. He was drawing their attention away from where Jisoo was hiding. "Run, girls," he shouted. "Get to backup location 3. An enhanced human fired a weapon at Taewon. He fell to the ground. "No." Hannah couldn't stop herself from crying out. Jisoo saw her sister and started to move toward her, but Sung-ho held her back. He pointed to a side tunnel, their escape route. Hannah caught her sister's eye and nodded. They needed to survive. That's what grandfather would want. As enhanced humans approached her hiding spot, Hannah grabbed a small EMP device from her pocket. She activated it and threw it toward them. The pulse disabled their weapons and communication devices for a few precious seconds. Hannah ran to the side tunnel where Jisoo and Sung-ho waited. The three of them escaped into the darkness as Na'vi forces swarmed the main tunnel behind them. Hours later, they'd reached backup location 3, an old bunker outside the city. Only 5 other resistance members had made it there. "What do we do now?" one of them asked. "The Na'vi know about us. They took Mija and the others. Our plan is ruined." Jisoo wiped tears from her face. She had been crying for her grandfather, but now her expression changed to determination. "We don't need the big plan anymore," she said. "We just need to get into the hub ourselves." "That's impossible," someone argued. "No," Hannah said, understanding her sister's thinking. "Not impossible, just very, very hard." She looked at Jisoo with new respect. "And we have something the Na'vi don't expect." Jisoo nodded. "We have each other." "This is crazy," Sung-ho said as he looked at the new plan Hannah had drawn. "Just the 3 of us against the entire Na'vi hub." It was the morning of the final integration. Across the world, The Na'vi were preparing to enhance all remaining humans at once. "We don't have a choice," Hana said. She spread out the map of the hub on the table. "The other resistance groups will still attack their local hubs. We just won't have as many people for our attack." Jisoo touched the small device in her pocket, the virus Sun Ho had created. If they could upload it to the main Na'vi system, it might free the enhanced humans from control. "I can get us in," she said quietly, "if I focus my ability on their security systems." They had spent the night practicing. Jisoo could now disable Na'vi technology from farther away when Hana held her hand. Together, they were stronger than either alone. Sun Ho nodded reluctantly. "I've packed 6 EMP devices. They won't last long, but they should create enough confusion." The three of them left the bunker and headed toward New Seoul. The city looked strangely empty. Most people were already at special centers, waiting for the final integration to begin. The New Seoul hub was a massive silver building in the center of the city. It rose hundreds of meters into the sky, with no windows and only one visible entrance. "Remember," Hana told the others as they approached, "we need to reach the core chamber. That's where their main systems are." Sun Ho activated the first EMP device and threw it near the entrance. When it went off, the enhanced human guards fell to the ground, temporarily disconnected from the Na'vi network. "Now, Jisoo." Hana grabbed her sister's hand. Jisoo closed her eyes and focused on the door systems. She pictured the electronic locks, the security cameras, the alarm triggers. She pushed against them with her mind. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the doors slid open. "It worked," Sun Ho whispered in amazement. They ran inside, stepping over the confused guards. The entrance hall was huge and empty, with smooth silver walls. Several corridors led deeper into the building. "Which way?" Jisoo asked. Hana pointed to the widest corridor. "The core should be at the center. This looks like the main path." As they moved through the hub, they encountered more enhanced humans. Each time, Sun Ho would use an EMP device to disable them briefly, while Jisoo and Hana worked together to open locked doors. The deeper they went, the harder it became. Jisoo was getting tired. Each use of her ability drained her more. "I don't know how much longer I can do this," she admitted after opening a particularly heavy security door. "We're close," Hana encouraged her. "Just a little further." Finally, they reached a massive circular room. In the center stood a glowing blue column that reached from floor to ceiling. Around it, several Na'vi worked at control panels. "That's it," Sun Ho whispered. "The core of their network. We need to get to one of those panels to upload the virus." Before they could move, a voice spoke behind them. "You are not permitted here." They turned to see a Na'vi standing in the doorway. It was taller than the others, with skin so pale it was almost transparent. Its black eyes seemed to look through them. "I am the Overseer," it said. "This is not your place." Hana stepped forward, placing herself between the Na'vi and her sister. "This was our place before you came." The Overseer tilted its head. "You misunderstand. We are not your enemies. We are your future." "You're killing us," Jisoo said, "turning us into empty shells." "No." The Overseer moved closer. "We are helping you transcend. We were once like you, organic, limited, mortal. We evolved beyond that. We became more." Sun Ho reached for another EMP device, but the Overseer raised its hand. The device sparked and went dead. "Your primitive tools cannot harm us here," it said. "This is the center of our network. Our power is strongest in this place." Jisoo felt fear rising in her chest. If their EMPs wouldn't work here, how could they succeed? Hana squeezed her sister's hand. "Remember what grandfather said. Nothing important is ever easy." As their hands joined, Jisoo felt a surge of energy between them. It was stronger than before, almost visible in the air around them. The Overseer noticed it too. For the first time, its calm face showed surprise. "What is this?" it asked. This connection between you is not in our records. That's because you don't understand what makes us human, Hana said, holding Jisu's hand tighter. We're more than just energy to be harvested. Together, they stepped toward the core. The blue light from the core washed over Hana and Jisu as they stepped forward hand in hand. The energy between them grew stronger, making the air around their joined hands shimmer. "Stop this," the overseer commanded. "You cannot understand what you are interfering with." More Navi entered the room, surrounding them. Sung Ho backed up against a control panel, his hands working quickly to prepare the virus. "We understand perfectly," Hana said. "You came to our world pretending to help. Instead, you're turning us into food." The overseer's face showed no emotion. "A simple way to see it. We offer order, purpose, eternal existence within our network. Without choice," Jisu added, "without freedom." "Freedom is inefficient," the overseer said. "Look what your kind did with freedom. Wars, pollution, suffering. We ended that." Jisu felt the strange power building between her and Hana. It was almost painful now, like electricity running through their joined hands. "Sung Ho," Hana called without looking away from the overseer. "Are you ready?" "Almost," he answered, fingers flying over the panel. "Just need to bypass one more." "Got it." He held up the small device with the virus. "I need to connect this to the main port." The main port was at the base of the core, just behind where the overseer stood. "You will not succeed," the overseer said. It raised its arms, and the other Navi moved closer. "The final integration has already begun across your world. In minutes, all remaining humans will join our network." Jisu closed her eyes. She focused on the feeling of Hana's hand in hers, the connection they shared. She thought of their parents who had died fighting the Navi. She thought of their grandfather who had sacrificed himself so they could escape. "Now, Jisu," Hana whispered, "everything you have." Jisu opened her eyes and pushed with her mind. The power surged from their joined hands like a wave, hitting the overseer first. The tall alien stumbled back, its perfect face showing confusion. "What is this?" it asked, its voice now uneven. "This is not possible." The wave continued, washing over the other Navi. They fell to their knees, their bodies flickering like bad television signals. "It's working," Sung Ho shouted. He ran to the main port and connected his device. "Virus uploading." Hana pulled Jisu toward the core. The blue light hurt their eyes, but they kept moving. As they got closer, the Navi tried to stop them, but each time the aliens touched the sisters, they jerked away as if burned. "The core," Hana said. "We need to touch it together." They reached out their free hands, fingers stretched toward the glowing blue surface. "No," the overseer cried, its voice no longer calm but full of fear. The sisters' fingertips touched the core. A blinding flash filled the room. Jisu felt like her body was being torn apart and put back together. She could feel Hana's thoughts, memories, feelings, all flowing between them. And beyond that, she felt the vast Navi network spreading around the world like a web. With Hana beside her, Jisu pushed into that web. She found the connections to the enhanced humans and tore them apart. She found the commands for the final integration and erased them. The core pulsed once, twice, then turned from blue to red. Cracks appeared in its surface. "System failure," a mechanical voice announced. "Network collapse imminent." The overseer screamed, a high sound that didn't seem possible from its thin body. "What have you done?" "We've set them free," Jisu said simply. The core exploded in a shower of light. The blast knocked everyone to the ground. For a moment, Jisu couldn't see or hear anything. When her senses returned, the core was gone. In its place was a small dark object that looked like a burned-out piece of metal. The Navi lay on the floor, their bodies thin and weak without their network. "Hana," Jisu called, searching for her sister. "Here," Hana answered weakly. She sat up slowly. Did it work? Sung Ho checked his device. The virus spread through their entire system before the core collapsed. It's hitting every Navi hub worldwide. Outside, they heard confused voices. The enhanced humans were waking up, free from Navi control for the first time in years. What happens now? Jisoo asked as they helped each other stand. Hannah looked at the fallen overseer. Now we rebuild, and we remember. Together, the sisters walked out of the hub and into the sunlight, where a new world was waiting to begin.